And welcome everybody, Will here. In today's episode, we're going to just talk a little bit. I'm going to talk about the previous episode where I was talking about the work that I was doing with Itzhak Bentov, some of the findings that I'm finding when I'm diving deeper into his work that may have not been discovered before. I'm very excited about that. We're also going to take a deep dive into Itzhak Bentov's second book, a cosmic book on the mechanics of creation. I feel I need to explain that book. In fact, I'm probably going to write a companion ebook to that one. It's a difficult read for the mass audiences, but I do think there's a lot of really good information in there. It just takes it asks a lot of you, and it demands a lot. But once you're in Bentov's world like I've been for so long, his writings, his impressions, the way he talks, how he explains things resonates with me. And that's kind of a joke, resonate. But it just does. And for me, it's very easy to explain. In fact, I had a gift for that. I was able to read these very difficult concepts. And then I got asked just later off the cuff, what was he even talking about? Oh, he was talking about the cosmic creation. Basically energy. Did you not? Let me explain it to you. Here, let me break this down. So, in a cosmic book on the mechanics of creation, while Stalking the Wild Pendulum kind of focused on consciousness and the human experience, the cosmic book kind of zooms out, kind of into the structure of the universe itself. So, Bentov tried to describe how reality forms from vibration, energy, and awareness. He explored how matter, time, and consciousness could all emerge from the same underlying process. What makes this book super special for me and what made it unique back in the days, this is late 70s, is that he blends the physics with metaphysics and humor in a kind of illustrated journey through the creation of the cosmos. So if you know me, and you're probably the same way, you like diagrams, you like pictures, I think that's one of the reasons that he resonated with me the most. Because somebody could explain their concept or their theory about how reality is or how things get put together. But sometimes there's some things lost in the translation. You can't get the overall visual picture of what's going on. That doesn't happen with Itzhak Bentov. He has you covered. The reason for that is he was huge on diagrams. And we've got a ton of them. A ton of them explaining his most hardcore concepts. And they're just, for me, they're a little bit easier to understand kind of where he's coming from. And in fact, his original concepts for a lot of these diagrams got sent out to universities and other masters of physics to help mold these models a little bit better in a more realistic possibility. That's why I think even to today, Itzhak Bentov's work still resonates in the halls of science and mysticism. It's because it has the ring of truth. He had that great way of exploring science that a lot of scientists don't have. And then he was willing to ask those hardcore scientists what they thought of his work and how it could, how it could be more realistic in our world. How would this work? How would his ideas, he felt them to be true, but he wanted to make sure that it fell in the realm of possibility. There's a lot of people's theories that I get asked on this channel, and they have me look at someone's theories. And I see a lot more holes, problems, where they could have solved some things or could have gone around some things, and they just didn't. They believed too much on their theory and it as a whole. Bentov wasn't that way. He was able to work on his theories. In fact, we still believe to this day, right towards the end of his years, he was still refining these. And that's a lot what I think about too when I'm reading, some of excerpts from his books or rereading his books. I thought, man, if he was able to rewrite this stuff knowing what he knows now, what would he have changed? That question haunts me a lot at night. But when I come to, and I get asked this a lot, he wouldn't have changed much at all. And the reason for that is not much in his philosophies and theories have changed over time. He probably would have drawn more connections with the data that we have Nowadays, from neuroscience, there's a few other fields he probably would have borrowed a lot of good data from and applied that and used that to refortify his beliefs, and probably would have made some slight modifications to his world on the cosmos. But let's get back to his book. I'm going to take the shirt off, getting hot in here. Let's take a look at the structure of the universe itself. He wasn't just asking what consciousness is, he was asking how the entire universe might be conscious. I will say this, if you're exploring Bentov's work, I implore you to approach it with an open mind, because that's how I really have to approach a lot of these things to get the full picture of what the person's trying to say. And in fact, I had to go back and reread this one. I thought I was missing something. And in fact, some of the latest information that I have about the work that he was doing that never got released, I believe a chunk of it is actually in this book here, having to do with energy and vibration. I'm still working on that. In heart, I'm a scientist, and it takes time for me to release anything solid. But as I do, and I find things, and I love going through these books, I love going through his lectures, I hunt for audiobooks, I hunt for notes and pages that may have never surfaced, and we did find a few. There was a couple pages that were in books, there were some lectures, there were personal talks that Bentov had with other scientists about his work when he was releasing his books. A lot of this stuff has never surfaced. A lot of this stuff was considered not important. He wasn't as important enough for it to be really recorded in the annals of history correctly. We are horrible as humans recording history correctly, even in this late, last couple centuries. So anyways, I'm putting it together. I will have it. I am going to do a live talk later on tonight, and I will tell you a little bit more of what I have off the cuff, a very loose talk on my podcast. Nothing official yet. I will definitely put an official video out when I find anything, and it will probably not be through these channels, just so you know, originally. I will probably go through more important channels, journals, people that I know, and release it properly for checking and verification before it goes live to the world. We found too many times people had too many great theories, ideas released into the world, to the masses, and they ran with it. And then we found, oh, wait a minute, that's wrong. And people were still running with it and having some problems and some issues. So let's do this right. Let's do this correct. We're going to do our research, and we're going to have some fun. I love doing this type of stuff. If you have anything, if you found anything, you got any pages on Itzhak Bentov, if you have any first editions, I implore you to open them and read the covers. See if he wrote anything. See if there's a missing page in there. Please help us. Help me.